Alrighty folks, it really is a straightforward question. Is gaming really boring now? I mean, is it all that it's cracked up to be anymore? And am I just this old guy, just this boomer guy, right? Can't keep up with the young guns. Is that what it really is? Has gaming really changed that much? Well, yes and no, but largely no. I don't think gaming is boring overall. There are a lot of really great games still out there, but it definitely isn't the same as it used to be. I'll try my best to keep this as short and sweet as I can, folks, but we're going to start sort of at the beginning. And when I say beginning, I don't mean the beginning of gaming or the history of gaming. I mean the beginning of me starting all of this. Starting a YouTube channel, which eventually led to me beginning to stream. Now, if you watched my very first video, which at this point you very well may not have because the channel is still relatively young, you would have heard me say that I started because I went to work one day and without any warning, any heads up, any preparation for it at all, I was told that my job had been eliminated from the corporate what the fuck ever. Basically, it was spit out by some sort of bullshit Excel program, told the higher-ups that that position was no longer necessary, and my position was eliminated. So I went home, said, you know what, I'm not gonna trip about this, I'm not gonna get upset, fuck it. Let's just do something that we've wanted to do, that we've never really had the time to do, never dedicated ourselves to doing. Let's start making YouTube videos. That was about a year ago, August of 2023. I believe the very first game that we played at that particular time was Dead Drop, one of the snapshots that Dead Drop released at that time. And that's where it all began. We weren't really focused on what we were gonna play or how we were gonna entertain or how everything was gonna look, etc., etc. We just knew what type of games we overall liked to play, and so that's what we hit the ground running with. Now it's been quite some time since that day. We just recently completed a 31-day streaming challenge where we streamed every single day for the month of October as well. So I've definitely learned a lot about what I enjoy about this and what I do not. The bigger picture of the video being, games just don't really hit quite the way they used to. And that's for a lot of reasons. One of the biggest reasons is that it seems to me like games used to be crafted. There used to be some sort of intention behind games, or at least that was the perception that you got when you played a game that you went to the store and bought. Before the age of digital downloads or downloading something while you were at work without having to do anything at all, there was something about the tangible effect of knowing that a game had been in development, you weren't able to get your hands on it, and then when it finally released, you did have to make that little bit of effort to go get the game, bring it home, and play it. Now, aside from that little bit of effort that it did require to get the games just felt like they had intention to them. We didn't live in an age and a time where you could test a game 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times before it released, where there was a creator economy and every creator that streamed on YouTube or Twitch or Kick was able to get their hands on a game before everybody else was, play the game, and then by the time it was out, there wasn't really anything left to experience because we've already seen it, or at least we've already seen a significant amount of it. So even a lot of the allure and the mystery and the excitement behind what a game was going to be like has just sort of faded away, which does seem to go sort of hand in hand with the advancement in technology that we have had throughout the years as well. Now again, this is not going to be a catalog or a historical record, an archive dig of where gaming began and where it is now. I've made videos like that before. A lot of the points that I'm going to touch on in this video, I've talked about before. This is going to be a general overview of where things are, at least for me. But the technology that we started with, or at least what I started with, where we are now, obviously night and day, but it seems seems like with most modern things, whether that's engineering, mathematics and its applications, science and its applications, technology, computer systems and their applications, the more modern we get and the easier it becomes to do certain things, the more automated that we can make certain things, which isn't to say it's without its use and advancement and benefit, but it took away a lot of that feeling of craftsmanship, right? That really expensive piece of furniture, that antique piece that you have that was made over weeks, months of time it took to create that thing. And now you have it and you know that it's built to last. Well, it's just not like that anymore. Everything nowadays is kind of built to be replaced. It's built cheaply, it's built quickly, it's built to be recycled, to be used again and again and again and again in a different form, over and over and over, never really quite living up to the potential that it could have. Now, for a very long time, I have largely played shooters. That's kind of my bread and butter up until recently, which we'll touch on a little bit later, but shooters have been my go-to, my home in gaming. I really love and enjoy competitive shooters. Well, at least I did. The competitive shooter, well hell, even the competitive online multiplayer scene in general has really just become such a strange and weird ecosystem. I talk a lot of shit about Call of Duty Warzone, but it's got to be one of the prime examples of what a corrosive, negative, derogatory, degenerative ecosystem that is online multiplayer gaming, specifically in a shooter space, can become. I'm sure by now everyone is aware of the controversy about the audio. The audio has always been horrible. It's even more horrible this update. They're apparently aware of it. There's also apparently some type of service that you can buy. It costs like $20 a month. I believe it's called Embody. I don't know all the details of it, but basically it's like a subscription that you pay for. It enhances certain audio features of the game. It's just a scummy, gross, pathetic, degenerative practice on behalf of multi-billion-dollar studio conglomerates that don't give a rat's ass about the quality of their game. All they care about doing is making money. So they're gonna take the audio out of the game. They're gonna make you pay for it. Because if you wanted to go see a movie, well, I mean, shit, I guess the audio doesn't have to be included. We could just watch the fucking film, and then if I want to pay extra for the audio, that makes total sense, right? We're just gonna sort of revert back to the 1920s or whenever the hell silent films were popular, and that's how we're gonna conduct business. Moving on from Call of Duty and my passion related to that game, competitive multiplayer has just become such a minefield of having to navigate your steps to what seems okay between what's just outright fraudulent, whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm sure if you've made it this far into the video, you're probably thinking, God, this old guy, he's just complaining. I'm 12 years old and he's 30 and that's so fucking old. I get it. I know that's probably what's running through your mind, but you know, that's really not what it is. And a really good example of that is, you ever notice how when games get a lot of flack and then they decide to tell their communities, yeah, we're gonna do something about it. We hear you. We're gonna do something about it. What do they normally do? What's a trend? What's a pattern that you notice that they normally do? They go back to the original version of what the game used to be. How often has that happened? It just happened with Apex. It happened with Call of Duty numerous times with the boots on the ground movement, boots on the ground. It happened with World of Warcraft. How many times has that happened where a game will go and go and go and just inevitably get worse and worse and worse because there's no creative ambition being put into it. There's no creative freedom being put into it. So what do? They do their little Operation Health updates. They do their OG updates, Fortnite OG, Apex OG, World of Warcraft Vanilla, Call of Duty Boots on the Ground. They go back to the original version that people responded to better. Why do you think that is? I just think it's ironic. I think it's funny that as we continue to progress and move forward, so many of the things that we would consider of antiquity or of old become popular again. They reemerge. And there's a reason for that. It's because there was something tangible, not even just a physical sense, an emotional sense, a mental sense. There was something tangible about knowing what went into the creation of that game, what went into the creation of the storytelling of that game. And that's one thing that we benefited from so much when graphics and pushing hardware to their absolute maximum wasn't a thing, as well as the creator economy and competitive gaming. The creator economy and the rise of faster, more explosive, more flashy, boom, 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 slide cancel, why, slide cancel. Those types of games, alongside all of the money that's produced in competitions around those games and within the creator economy, the rise of the creator economy really pushed a lot of the craftsmanship out of at least the shooter space. It became so much more about how fast the game could be, how responsive the game could be in terms of sliding or jumping or shooting or spinning or whatever the case may be, less to do with the overall mechanics of how the game functioned in general, but strictly from a competitive sense. How can we hack the shit out of this game, chop it up, manipulate it, so it is the most flamboyant, flashy, speedy, obnoxious thing it possibly can be. It really eroded a lot of the fabric of what went into creating strong, immersive, provocative war games, shooter games, extraction games, battle royale games. The days of Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Bad Company 2, those types of things, they've been gone for a little while now, yeah? But I'm not here to blame any one thing or blame anybody or blame creators. That's also just a natural evolution of the way that technology has progressed us, especially for younger folks. They want faster, they want flashier and louder and more obnoxious and more obscene and more goofy and ridiculous, to the point to where the game that you're playing just morphs into some sort of quasi-blended, molded universe of anything and everything that it can suck into it, all but losing its identity in the process. That's just unfortunately what people seem to want, what they enjoy. And if that's what they enjoy and that's what they want, then there should be a market for that. There should be a sector for those people. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not for me. It's just taken away from the overall execution of what gamers, players like me, come to expect from certain parts of the industry, which is really what the 31-day streaming challenge boiled down to for me. A realization that competitive online games, especially shooters, are just not really my mainstay anymore. Is there enjoyment to be had out of them? Yes, but it's just become something that I can't really see myself being a part of anymore. I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's a multitude of things. The RPG space and the indie space, to me, seem to be thriving. There are an incredible amount of games out there that deliver incredible experiences. I've had some of those experiences over the last few months, and I don't know, it just makes more sense. I still love playing shooters, I always will, but the flavor of shooter, the genre of shooter, if you will, it's just changing as I'm changing. And I'm glad to see that as the shooter space is evolving, there is sort of a new sector, if you will, a new breed of shooter coming out. We've got new blends of extraction shooters coming out, like Arc Raiders, which isn't released yet. I am going to be doing a video on that game, by the way. But we've got this blend of like, yeah, you can go in and you can focus on killing people, or you can just focus on completing tasks. And the worlds are getting bigger, and the depth of how involved you are in the economy of those worlds and living in those worlds is getting bigger. So it's nice to see that there's a blend in the shooter space that's coming to the forefront, allowing players to dive into something that provides a little bit more investment and a little bit more depth than just jumping into a match, sliding across the ground as fast as you possibly can, allowing aim assist to completely take over for you and kill as many people as possible in the same repetitive ass match on the same map that we've had for the last 5 years. And I'm not talking about any one game in particular now. This is just me sharing my opinion with you all, folks. That's what this channel is for. You know, I'm a YouTube creator. I stream here on YouTube and I stream on Twitch, and we try to have fun doing that. But that's what these videos are for. We have discussions about how we feel about gaming, about what we think about the current state of the industry, where it's going, what we like, what we don't like. And gaming isn't going to change for me. Who the hell cares what I think about gaming? Gaming shouldn't change for me. I can only hope that gaming companies that produce games, creators that produce games, are able to continue to push the envelope and expand beyond what we've been given, expand beyond the obvious fraud, the obvious scum, the obvious slap and spit in the face that we receive so often, as to continue to allow us to hopefully play and experience great things. Great things. That's all this video is really about. To round it off, playing with friends has got to be one of the best ways to enjoy games. Another thing that I've realized as of recent while doing all this, it can be stressful, man. It can be stressful trying to figure out what to play, how to play it, what to do, how to do it, on and on and on. Playing with friends is really one of the core pillars that gaming was always about, right? It was never about isolating yourself in front of a camera alone in a dark room day in and day out. It's never really what gaming was supposed to be, was it? Gaming was always supposed to be this fun thing that you enjoyed either passively or competitively, but usually with other people, right? You played with other people. It was fun to play with other people. So one thing that I could suggest over anything else in this video about the gaming industry, what to play, what not to play, how to play it, is if you're gonna play at all, you gotta have fun playing. And that's something that I've got to actually take, swallow, digest, and apply. Playing with friends is a huge part of that. Playing games you actually enjoy playing is a huge part of that. Playing games simply because I know people like to watch that game or it's entertaining for the masses is becoming increasingly difficult to near impossible to achieve and pull off, because I just don't have a good time doing it. And that then translates into people not having a good time watching me do it. Gaming has certainly changed, folks. It has certainly changed from the days when you would get off work or get out of school and head on over to the GameStop or the Game Exchange or whatever the hell it was that you did, pick up a game, take it home and play it for the very first time, beginning to end, and have a wholly unique experience unto yourself. Those days are long gone. Some may say for better, some may say for worse. I think it's a blend of both. There are a lot of things that I wish were different. There are a lot of things that I wish would change. But when the amount of money that is involved in gaming is involved, and believe me, it is, sometimes, like with many other industries, the money is what speaks the loudest at the end of the day. And that's what these companies' mission is, to produce money. Indie games, RPG games, MMOs, there are a lot of different niches out there that do very well, that produce incredible content. The online competitive scene, maybe not so much. Maybe it's not for me anymore. Maybe that's just what it is. I don't care what you enjoy. This video is not about making you feel bad for what you enjoy. I hope you enjoy everything you play, no matter what it is. Whether that's Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, God of War, doesn't matter. I just hope you have fun. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope if you're anything like me, and you're somebody who started gaming young, maybe you're in your 30s and you're still gaming, I hope you can relate to these things, and I hope that you've been able to find sort of a little bit of a path for yourself to keep gaming on the positive side of your life, a positive pastime. Because that's really all it is, man. We gotta have fun. It can become very stressful doing this part of it. It's not the easiest thing in the world, no matter how easy it may seem. So you've got to be able to have fun, and that's something that I've started to realize a lot recently, and that I've got to take more to heart and implement into my own life. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do thank you for being here on the channel, day in and day out, video after video. I do ask that you like the video if you enjoyed it. It helps a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you feel invested enough to do so. I'd love to have you. And let me know in the comments what you think about where you're at with gaming. Where are you at with gaming? What do you like? What do you not like? What does it look like to you going forward? We do stream here on the YouTube channel 3 days a week. We stream over on Twitch as well. Feel free to drop a follow on both platforms. This is the type of thing that we like to talk about, guys. I mean, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. The official Scrim Squad is what it is. I hope to see you all online.